We arrived in Plettenberg Bay here about 1 AM this morning. As we anchored, we had seals come up and approach us. There's a seal colony here, but I'm thinking because we've got overcast conditions, the sun's not shining through the water, it's not so easy to spot great whites if you're in the water, I suspect, I assume. I was assuming I will see them in the morning, but again, they're not here, and I think it's because it's overcast and rainy. And we're going to pick up the anchor very soon, and we're going to make for Knysna Heads, which is about a 4-hour sail. I was hoping to go ashore here in Plettenberg, maybe go have a cup of coffee and a bite to eat before we left, but it's not that. It's a bit miserable. We'll just get going, have a cup of tea on the boat and get going. I think that's the way.
It takes a special blend of optimism, or perhaps a touch of madness, to set sail from Plettenberg Bay into a 25-knot headwind accompanied by rain, fog and swell.
Short, steep little swells here. Nasty. We'll get out in deep water and then we'll put up the main. Then we'll start sailing. We'll be able to veer away off a little bit, or quite a bit actually, so it should be a following sea. So this is probably, well, I hope, the worst part of our passage actually, getting out of this bay.
Our destination, the legendary Knysna Heads, approximately 5 hours away.
Yeah, Bob's not holding us on course unfortunately, we're turning into the wind, so we might have to manual steer. Oh my word! How are we going to cope?
Despite a weather forecast that suggests stay in bed, we are timing our departure to arrive during the optimal entry window, 1 hour before high tide. After an hour-long battle just to escape Plettenberg Bay, we were thrilled to receive a call from Mike, the local Knysna Heads guide. He cheerfully informed us that given the current forecast, today probably wasn't the best day to attempt the bar. By then it was too late. We were committed and turning back was not appealing. So we decided to press on westward and reassess the entry upon arrival.
So that's Mike Jacobs, he's the guru for getting into the Knysna bar. He messaged us like as we're setting sail, pretty much flat out going on here, saying, oh, he suggests we stay there for another day. It's a bit late for that, but anyway, so I just rang him. He said, look, the biggest problem he's got is the visibility. The viz doesn't worry me, it's the seaway. And so I said, look, I'm happy to give it a go regardless of the viz. And he said, well, maybe turn up a little bit later than scheduled. He asked me to be there at 1 o'clock. I'm thinking we're not going to be there till 1:30 anyway, maybe 2 o'clock. So we'll just monitor it as we go. But let's just get there, and if we have to hover around, we'll slow down the last sort of 2 or 3 miles, we'll do that.
And for added peace of mind, we reached out to our friend Michael in Durban, who has navigated the Heads numerous times, to get a second opinion. My apologies for the audio quality in this episode. We hadn't realised our new camera had a knack of amplifying wind noise.
Mike suggested that we just carry on, and I think we should carry on. As long as the sea state's manageable, we'll just go in regardless. And Mike from Lingalinga, he agrees. And Mike is actually he's a delivery captain. He's been in and out of Knysna many times. So I'm good with that. We're just going to go on. If we decide that we need to wait for a little bit at Knysna to watch the heads, if it's a little bit tricky, happy to do that. But my thinking right now is, I reckon when we get there, we just go straight in.
Oh, you dropped the mainsail.
Yeah, dropped the main ages ago.
Did you?
Ivan filmed it. Yeah, we were going too fast. They wanted us to slow down. So
well, that's probably why it feels a lot nicer too.
Oh no, the wind has dropped right out. Yeah, well, it's dropped sort of 5 knots, 10. I mean, it was gusting 30 knots, true.
Was it?
Yeah, over 30 actually. I don't really know. It got to 26, 27 apparently. Oh, a bit of good news. The winds have abated to the high teens, gusting 20 maybe, 21, 22 perhaps at a stretch. The seas has abated slightly too, which is great. The only disappointing thing is that these the headland here, like coastline, looks wild. I'd like to see a better view of it. It looks pretty awesome just seeing it through the haze there, though the mist and the fog. It's actually I'm really enjoying it now, a lot more than I was earlier. Actually, I was enjoying it earlier too. It's just an exciting, slightly apprehensive enjoyment. Heading out that Heads, man. God blimey. I reckon it took us nearly an hour to motor 3 miles and get sail set. nearly an hour to do that. It was a mission to get out. I will say too, the temperature's dropped. This is the first time I've brought out the old icebreaker from many moon. Oh, actually, no, I brought it out when we were up in Tanzania when we went into the Toga tribe. I guess prior to that, it was 4 or 5 years. So there you go. Fascinating. Fascinating. So there she is, there's the heads. It looks quite impressive, doesn't it?
Oh wow, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Does
Look at the waves.
Looks a little daunting, eh?
A little bit daunting. Mind you, they are taking us in. So did they come out and get us or what happened? So the guy, he doesn't guide us in?
Well, he doesn't need to guide us and we can go on ourselves, but
I know, but
there
there's
is a...
rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
I know they say stay over to the
Where?
rocks on the... And the waves are breaking! Actually, it's not too bad, is it? Actually, it's not as
Oh, it was a lot worse earlier.
Yeah.
We're quite lucky. We're quite lucky because it has backed off a lot.
The formidable Knysna Heads stand as vigilant gatekeepers to the serene sanctuary of the Knysna Lagoon. From afar, the passage between these sandstone sentinels appears generously wide at about 230 metres. However, beneath the surface, submerged rocks and shifting sandbars conspire to narrow the safe navigable channel to a mere 30 metres, making this one of the most perilous harbour entrances globally. Maritime wisdom advises against attempting entry when swells exceed 2 metres. Today, the swell is flirting with that very limit. We're at my call, we'd gracefully bypass Knysna and set course for Mossel Bay. I'm a little nervous about this. I tell you what, I would not be going in there right now. Just as it starts to rain and the wind starts to roar. However, with Rob at the helm and a sudden squall greeting us as we align for the entrance, the die is cast. With Greg's cautionary advice echoing in our minds,
Like the west head as much as possible. I was told if I'm not able to pick the mussels, I'm not close enough.
we're too close to the rocks! Both engines at full throttle, a sliver of Genoa under Ivan's steady hand and Declan meticulously aligning the red and white harbour leading lights. We brace ourselves for the challenge ahead. Despite my vocal reservations, there's no turning back now. Okay! That's what I'm talking about. I had all the trust in you, Robert.
Well, two leading lights up there.
Well done,
Jack. Port started.
Well done. No, it probably looked like nothing on camera, but that was blinking hair raising. Awful. Wow.
I don't think you caught this, but of course, right when I was wanting to line up on the marks, I wanted to see the track on our iPad. The showers came right through here and just managed to angle into the screen and got the screen wet, and it started going all over the place. Went mad. Right at the exact time I started taking real notice on our track.
Very good seamanship, Captain. Very good seamanship. I think many people would turn away on a day like today.
Well, when that squall came in, it wasn't really a squall, it just went from 15 to sort of 25. I guess you could argue that it was a squall, but the thing is, it wasn't upsetting the sea state.
The sea state was pretty upset.
Well, it wasn't making it worse, that was the thing.
Inside the heads, the conditions were calm and inviting, though a little light drizzle still lingered. We made our way to the assigned mooring buoy. Anchoring isn't allowed in the lagoon. Then headed to the waterfront to celebrate our safe arrival with Yosh, Benita and Tallulah from Sailing Nanji. the one.
Thanks, bro.
Do you think that's about as hairy as you'd want it, or?
Oh no, it was exciting. It was fun. I mean, I've been quite happy to go on. The forecast was for 3 metre swells. You know, when we left, we were going to get 3 metre swells here. As it turns out, it was 2 metres, 1.9 I think officially, but it was definitely up to 2 metres at times. But yeah, I'd have been fully up for that. I mean, look, Michael said he's done in 4 metres, so yeah. Yeah, it is doable. And that wind was quite helpful too, because it was sort of sending us in with it as well. And one of the points that Michael made to me, actually, I thought was really pertinent. With the incoming tide, it has a tendency to, if anything, flatten the sea, as opposed to if you've got an outgoing tide, the waves will stand up more. You know, it's definitely the case going on an incoming tide. Because once we got in the flats, man, we were racing along. You can see how fast we were going on the incoming tide along the along the shore there.
Did you at any stage, because I was going, no, you're too close to the rocks, you're too close to the rocks. Yeah. Did you at any point feel that you were too close to the rocks?
No, never. No, in fact, I thought we could have got closer.
Really?
Yeah. The hairiest part was actually just before those rocks. Remember when we were surging and surfing on those swells?
Yes, and they were sending you towards those rocks.
Yeah, but yes, we did turn into them, but we were like still 100 metres shy of them, or 50 metres shy of them. So then the swell goes through and then I turned out again. Yeah. I was just saying to Rachel before how cool it was that while we were going in the bar, we had 4 separate groups or entities, if I can put it that way, kind of observing us and giving advice, or just excited for us, and we're following your progress, it's going to be great. And it was Brendan and Sarah on Excelsior. They were back in Port Elizabeth, who they had to pull in because they had bad weather on the same passage we had. Yosh and Benita, they drove from here, they're already in the port, up to the high hills right overlooking the highest cliff there, looking down on us, and I believe they've taken some footage of it. They were giving us the woo! And we had Mike, who's the local sort of expert on the bar. We also had Michael from Lingalinga back in Durban checking in on us. In fact, we got a call from Michael while we were actually coming in the entrance saying, hey, how are you guys going? And I said, Ivan, you take that. So it's really nice. It's just that everyone's kind of, you know, observing and wishing us the best and kind of just, I don't know, just looking after each other, I suppose. Yeah, it's really nice. So go you guys. Really appreciate it.